The sixth and potentially final pre-reaction I'll do was for a talk called How the OpenTelemetry Collector Puts You in the Driver's Seat by Alex Boten. Now, I was trying to avoid talks about OpenTelemetry, but there were just so many of them that I decided to just dive into one. It sounds like it is the topic of this moment and something which I will inevitably be involved in the near future. So, microservices, again, can lead to a messy observability situation, particularly any distributed system. You can end up with many different tools, and then what happens if you want to consolidate or to change tooling? Do you have to redo your instrumentation? How do you do it, right? Now, the OpenTelemetry Collector is a way that we can consolidate all of this complex observability without having to re-instrument code or install new exporters and agents, which is quite powerful. I didn't actually realize really how powerful this could be until I saw this talk. So the OpenTelemetry Collector, it is a vendor agnostic way to receive, process, and export data, and it supports a pretty impressive set of formats, both in terms of input and output. So you can have this one collector sitting there, and it can pull in data from 10, a dozen, 20 different sources, all into the same place, and then export them to whatever destination that you want to send them. And that's a pretty cool idea. And during the talk, he mentioned that you can also transform the data that you're receiving. So first of all, you receive, then you can process that data and transform it in any way in the way that you want before you export it on to whatever destination you send it to. He showed us the YAML configuration for configuring the collector, and it looked pretty straightforward and simple. You define your receivers and your processors and your exporters, any extensions you want, and then a section for services, which is where you pull all the config together. The OpenTelemetry Collector, it seems to be able to take data from just about anywhere. The key thing is, you don't need to re-instrument all your code when you switch to use OpenTelemetry. You don't need to install new agents. If you have Prometheus agents running, you can keep using them and just get the collector to receive that information in its current format. That opens up a really interesting possibility around experimentation. So you can pull in, say, data from Prometheus or wherever. You can then export that data to multiple places. So you could, in theory, export the same data to 2 or 3 or 4 different tools and then compare them. Which tool is better at visualizing and the data, or is easy to use? It could be a really great way to do that, a nice clear comparison between the different tools that you may be considering. So that was pretty cool. And it's pretty interesting hearing about the collector for myself. One of the current challenges that I'm facing is having a sprawl of different tools around the organization. And in order to answer the questions that I have about reliability, I need to go to many different tools. So I need to go to Splunk, I need to go to Prometheus, I need to go to ServiceNow to find out about incidents. I also need to go to New Relic in some cases. And it sounds like the OpenTelemetry Collector could be something I could use in this particular situation to pull all the reliability metrics and logs and traces that I need into the one place. So that's pretty cool. He also showed how you can write your own exporters and receivers. It's very extensible. So you're kind of future-proofing yourself by the sound of it, because it doesn't matter what your requirements will be in the future. If someone else hasn't written the code to support that, then you can write it yourself. So that sounds pretty cool. Overall, I have to say, despite myself, I am being convinced by the idea of OpenTelemetry and the possibilities here. And I can't help but think about how I can apply it to my own work. And I've already been talking about it with my team at work today about the possibilities around OpenTelemetry and what we might be able to do. So yeah, another really good talk. I love the examples, showing the code. If you're interested in OpenTelemetry, there are a lot of really good talks in o11yfest about it, but this is a really good one among them. So that is the end of another episode of Slight Reliability. I may not be able to put out an episode next week, as I have quite a busy weekend with kids' birthday parties and other events. So if I don't see you next week, I'll see you in a week and a half. Please, if you can, go along to o11yfest and hear all about observability from May 9th to the 12th. It's free, or I encourage you to donate. It goes to a good cause. And also SLOconf. Unfortunately, it's running exactly the same time. I'm also speaking with my colleague Gwen DeLeon at that conference as well, around our journey defining service level objectives in the murky real world. All right, that's all, and I'll see you next time.